Welcome to Easy English Podcast. I'm Adam, and I want to say how happy I am that you're here. Really, thank you for joining me today. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. This is a place where we speak slowly, gently, and with care. A place where you can listen to English, relax, and learn without stress. Before we begin, I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss our next episodes. If you enjoy learning English through stories, this podcast is for you. So take a deep breath, make yourself comfortable, and let's begin today's story. It was a quiet morning. The sun was just starting to rise, casting soft light through the window. A young man named Daniel opened his eyes slowly. He didn't jump out of bed. Instead, he lay there for a moment, listening to the birds outside and feeling the warmth of his blanket. It was a new day, but it didn't feel rushed. He stretched his arms and smiled. Today, something was different. Something was waiting. Daniel lived in a small village near the edge of a forest. The village was peaceful, surrounded by green fields and tall trees. People knew each other's names. They shared stories, helped one another, and lived simply. Daniel loved this quiet life, but deep inside he always felt curious. Curious about what was beyond the trees. Curious about other people, other places, other lives. He got out of bed and walked to the kitchen. The smell of bread filled the air. His mother was already awake, baking like she did every morning. She smiled at him, handing him a warm piece of bread. "Good morning, Daniel," she said. "Eat well. You have a big day ahead." Daniel nodded. He didn't know exactly what she meant, but he felt it too. Today was special. After breakfast, Daniel put on his shoes, grabbed his small backpack, and stepped outside. The morning air was fresh and cool. The village was slowly waking up. He walked past the baker, who waved at him, past the schoolhouse where children were playing, past the well, where an old man was telling a story to a group of young listeners. Daniel smiled, then turned toward the forest. Now Daniel had walked near the forest many times, but he had never gone deep inside. Today he felt ready. He took his first steps beyond the edge. The trees grew tall and thick, but sunlight still found its way through the leaves. The ground was soft. Birds chirped high above. With every step, Daniel felt something new, a mix of excitement and nervousness, a mix of wonder and fear. As he walked deeper, the sounds of the village faded. He was alone now, just him and the forest. But he didn't feel lonely. He felt alive. Every tree, every sound, every scent felt like a new word in a new language. He walked slowly, paying attention, not rushing, just being there. After a while, he came to a small clearing. In the center was an old wooden bench. It looked like it had been there for years, maybe even decades. Daniel sat down. He closed his eyes. He breathed in deeply. And then he heard it, a voice, soft, gentle, almost like a whisper. "You came," it said. Daniel opened his eyes quickly, looking around. No one. He stood up. "Who's there?" he asked. Silence. He waited. Then again the voice. "You finally came." Daniel turned around slowly, and then he saw her, an old woman standing between two trees. She wore a long green robe, and her hair was silver and long. Her eyes were kind but full of stories. She smiled. "I've been waiting for you," she said. He didn't know what to say. "Me?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes, you. You're the one who listens, the one who feels the wind and hears the birds, the one who notices." Daniel stepped closer. He felt calm, not afraid. "Who are you?" he asked. "I'm a storyteller," she said, And today I want to tell you a story, but not just any story. This one is for you, and only you. He sat back down on the bench. She walked over and sat beside him. Long ago, she began, there was a boy, much like you. He lived in a quiet place, but his heart was loud with dreams. One day he walked into the forest, just like you. And there he found something that changed everything. Daniel listened. Her voice was soft and slow. Her words painted pictures in his mind. He could see the boy, feel his steps, hear his thoughts. It didn't feel like a story. It felt like a memory he never knew he had. The woman spoke of journeys and questions, of nights under stars and days of silence. She spoke of fear and how it teaches us, of wonder and how it leads us. She spoke of listening, really listening, to the world around us, and to the voice inside. Daniel didn't move. He didn't speak. He just listened. As the story continued, something began to change. The trees seemed brighter, the air warmer, the bench more comfortable. Time slowed. The forest, the story, the voice, it all became one. Daniel felt like he was part of the story. Or maybe the story was part of him. The woman paused. You see, she said, stories are not just words. They are doors. And you, Daniel, you just walk through one. He looked at her. Will I see you again? He asked. She smiled. You'll hear me. In the wind, in the leaves, in the quiet moments. I'm always here. She stood up and walked slowly back into the forest. Daniel sat still. He didn't want to move. He wanted to hold on to the feeling, the story, the moment. Eventually he stood up and began to walk back. The path looked different now, not because it had changed, but because he had. Every step felt meaningful, every sound rich with story. When he returned to the village, everything was the same. But Daniel was not. He greeted the baker with a deeper smile. He listened more carefully to the old man by the well. He watched the children play with a new sense of wonder. That night he sat by his window, looking at the stars. He thought about the story, about the storyteller, about the door he had walked through, and he whispered to himself, I am part of something bigger. The next morning he woke up early. The birds were singing. The sun was rising. And in the distance he thought he heard a voice, soft, gentle. There's more to discover, it said. Daniel smiled. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden rays over the quiet village, the gentle sound of laughter echoed from a nearby alleyway. Children were still playing, chasing each other with wooden toys and carefree energy, as the old storyteller leaned back in his chair, eyes twinkling with the kind of warmth only a long, reflective life could bring. And so, he said softly, that young traveler, with only a bag of dreams and a heart full of questions, walked slowly into the next village, not knowing what tomorrow would bring, but certain that the journey itself would shape who he would become. The listeners sat quietly. Some were villagers, others were strangers who had wandered in and found themselves captivated by the story. But all of them felt something, an emotion they couldn't quite name. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was a gentle reminder that their own journey mattered too. The storyteller paused, sipped his tea, and looked into the distance. Let's continue where we left off. As the traveler walked through the village, he began to notice things he hadn't seen before. A mother teaching her daughter how to sweep the porch, An old man repairing a bicycle with hands so steady they seemed like time itself. A dog sleeping in a sunbeam. Everything felt simple, but deeply meaningful. The traveler smiled. He remembered something someone once told him. The meaning of life is not found in great things, but in small moments fully lived. He stopped by a little bakery, and the smell of warm bread pulled him inside. The baker, a plump woman with flour on her nose, handed him a small loaf. "First time here?" she asked. He nodded. She smiled. "Then this one is on the house. Welcome." And just like that, the village began to feel like home. In the days that followed, the traveler helped harvest apples in the orchard, shared stories at the local tavern, and even helped fix the roof of the schoolhouse. He wasn't doing anything extraordinary, but he was present. He listened. He laughed. He offered his hands when someone needed help. And in return, the village gave him something priceless: belonging. Each night, he returned to the same bench outside the old inn, where the stars whispered ancient secrets. He began to write again, simple lines, reflections, and dreams. And one night, without planning it, he told his first story aloud. It was short, about a bird that forgot how to fly but learned how to sing. But the villagers listened, and they clapped. "You have a gift," the old innkeeper said. The traveler blushed. "I just speak from my heart," he replied. The traveler didn't know how long he would stay. Maybe a month, maybe a year. But for now, that didn't matter, because he had discovered something valuable. In learning how to tell stories, he had found his voice, and in sharing it, he had touched the hearts of others. And now, dear listener, maybe it's your turn. Maybe you have a story, even if it's just one small moment from your day. Maybe someone is waiting to hear it. Maybe the language isn't perfect yet, but the feeling behind it is. And that's enough. That's more than enough. Before we finish this episode, I want to remind you, your journey with English is also a story. Every word you learn is a step. Every sentence you try is a page. And every mistake is just a twist in the plot that leads to growth. So keep going, speak, write, dream, share. And if you found peace or inspiration in this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Easy English Podcasts. Join me, Adam, every week as we explore English together through gentle stories, reflections, and real-life conversations that make the language come alive. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Until next time, take a deep breath, be kind to yourself, and remember, English is not just something you study, it's something you live. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Keep growing, keep dreaming, and keep speaking. You've got this.